Welcome back. All eyes are on the Supreme Court as President Trump is expected to announce his choice to replace Supreme Court Justice Kennedy. And joining us now from our D.C. Bureau is Jessica Smith. Jessica, what can you tell us about this?
Eugene, the president is set to make his announcement at 9 o'clock here in Washington. Last we heard, he had narrowed down his picks to about 4 people, all of them vetted by conservative groups. This justice will lock in a 5-4 conservative majority on the court if this person is confirmed. Now, it could be a very close vote because, as you know, Senator McCain is not in Washington, so Republicans just have a 50-49 majority here. Some of the senators to watch on the Republican side: Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. We know that Roe v. Wade and health care issues are very important to them, and they are seen as the 2 most likely Republicans who could maybe vote with the Democrats on this against a potential nominee. On the other side of the aisle, Senators Joe Donnelly, Joe Manchin, and Heidi Heitkamp are ones to watch. They are all Democrats up for re-election in red states. And in the past, they all 3 voted for President Trump's last Supreme Court nominee, Neil Gorsuch. So those are the senators we'll be watching here, as this could be a very close vote. But first, we have to find out who the nominee is, and we should find out at 9 o'clock tonight.
All right, absolutely. Well, the U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods went into effect on Friday. China immediately hit back and retaliated. What's the reaction with that in Washington, and what are the next steps?
Right, the U.S. and China both implemented $34 billion worth of tariffs. This is a really interesting situation to watch here. A lot of people that I've talked to say this is it. This is finally the trade war that we've been talking about for months now. China is largely targeting U.S. agriculture like soybeans and pork, so that's something that farmers in Illinois are really watching. They're worried about how this will impact their business. U.S. manufacturers are also concerned about this. They're worried that these tariffs could drive up their costs and make them less competitive. Now, we do know another $16 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese goods are set to go in effect at the end of this month, and President Trump is threatening another $500 billion in tariffs. So no sign of backing down here right now. We're just waiting to see if and when someone blinks.
And more on international relations, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo went for another round of negotiations, or talks, excuse me, with North Korea. What can you tell me that came out of those discussions?
Yeah, we're hearing 2 different stories about this latest round of negotiations there. North Korea says that the talks were regrettable. They say that Pompeo went in with a, quote, gangster-like mindset, but Pompeo says that the talks were productive and that they're progressing well. He kind of brushed off the comments from North Korea, saying that there was no gangster mindset. He says that things are going well. You'll know the goal, of course, is to get North Korea to denuclearize. He says they are still on track. They're still working to that goal. So we'll be watching this situation as well.
All right, a lot of things happening in Washington. As always, Jessica Smith in our D.C. Bureau. Thanks for joining us.